The Marshal Service and several of the Texas law enforcement agencies got together and they did something called Operation Lightning Bug. Well, they took on human trafficking. They took on criminals. Now, not all these folks were illegal immigrants. Some of these folks were born in America, lived in America, Americans. These folks are, but it's still human trafficking. I don't care who you are, human trafficking is a bad thing. And if you're trafficking minors, which a lot of these turned out to be, then I hope that you end up in a prison with parents who they might be bad people, but they're loving parents. I hope you end up in a prison with them. Why? Because this is some stupidity. Why you would force kids into these things. Why you would not try to help a runaway get to their parents. You got a problem. But Marshal Service and multiple Texas law enforcement agencies got together and said, you know what? ICE got involved, Bexar County District Attorney's Office got involved, Texas Board of Criminal Justice, New Braunfels Police Department, Naval Criminal Investigative Service got involved, Texas Attorney General's Office, Texas Department of Public Safety, in other words, Rangers and regular Texas Highway Patrol, Bexar County Sheriff's Office, and San Antonio Police Department, specifically the San Antonio Police Department's Missing Persons Unit and San Antonio's, well, I had a couple of groups of them get involved. So we're going to cover this story. Thank you to those members of law enforcement that went out there and did this. You're showing what it means to wear a badge. You're showing what it means to have some honor. Now, if you like what's going on with our government, you're probably not going to like this channel. Why? Because I'm going to cover those things that are going on within the government, local, state, and federal. Sometimes it ain't good news. This is one of those rare times I get to cover good news. And I thought it would be a nice thing to cover. So, yeah, I don't always cover the good things, but I do cover what's going on, and this is a really good thing. So, hit like, hit subscribe. Let's get into this story. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Okay, this is coming from a press release from the Marshal Service. The Marshal Service, in partnership with the San Antonio Police Department and members of the Lone Star Fugitive Task Force, conducted Operation Lightning Bug, a multi-agency initiative targeting crimes against vulnerable youth from July 28th to August 15th, focusing resources on to locate missing juveniles at high risk of exploitation by traffickers and predators. Deputies from the Marshal Service offices in San Antonio, Del Rio, Midland, and Pecos joined forces with SAPD's Missing Persons Unit, Special Victims Unit, Covert Unit, Street Crimes Units. Together, they reviewed every missing juvenile listed in the Texas Crime Information Center and National Crime Information Center databases for the San Antonio area. Intelligence gathered was used to create operational plans that led to the recovery of numerous children and the disruption of human trafficking activity. The results: 3 arrests for harboring a runaway, 9 felony arrest warrants executed, 6 trafficking survivors recovered and provided victim services, 5 human trafficking investigations opened, over 30 missing juveniles located by officers, and over 120 additional missing juveniles encouraged to return home, resulting in cleared entries from state and national databases. As juveniles were recovered, SAPD Special Victims Unit detectives conducted interviews to identify potential victimization. Survivors received immediate access to victim services through partner organizations including Health and Human Services. This recovery efforts extended beyond rescue to long-term safety and stability. Uh, According to the US Marshal Susan Pamerlau of the Western District of Texas, the safety of our children is the safety of our communities, and justice demands that we protect those who cannot protect themselves. Through Operation Lightning Bug, we reaffirm our promises to safeguard the most vulnerable and strengthen the safety of our communities. SAPD Chief William McManus echoed that commitment, stating every suspect arrested, juvenile returned home, and survivor taken out of harm's way matters. The operation demonstrates that what can be achieved when law enforcement agencies unite to protect children. The Justice for Victims of Trafficking Act of 2015 expanded the U.S. Marshals Service discretionary authority to assist in the recovery of missing, endangered, or abducted children, regardless of whether a fugitive or sex offender was involved. Under the authority, the Marshal Service established a missing child unit to oversee operations and respond to requests from law enforcement partners nationwide. They define critically missing children as those at heightened risk of violent crime or other elevated factors, such as exploitation, substance abuse, exposures to crime, domestic violence. Operation Lightning Bug highlighted the power of coordinated action between federal, state, and local partners to locate missing children, disrupt trafficking networks, and bring offenders to justice. So, yeah, this sounds a little bit like I'm cheerleading, but you know what? When you have 120 missing children going straight back home, when you've got 30 missing juveniles located, 5 human trafficking investigations open, 6 trafficking survivors recovered and provided victim services, and 9 felony arrests and 3 arrests for harboring a runaway happen, I'm going to cheerlead. I'm not going to look as cute as a cheerleader because I ain't putting on the outfit, nor do my legs look anywhere near what those folks do. But I'm going to cheerlead a little bit here. This is a good thing. Yeah, they had to involve ICE. They had to involve local police departments. That all was a good thing. So, good for them. Let me tell you something. We need more law enforcement doing what law enforcement is supposed to do. Being political pawns ain't what law enforcement's supposed to be. Revenue generation is not what police are supposed to be. Law enforcement's about enforcing the law. If you don't like what laws they're enforcing, guess what? You've got members of your state legislature, your county commission, your U.S. representatives, your senators, all of them are supposed to change the laws. Law enforcement is supposed to enforce them. They're not supposed to take a look at it as a political means. They're not supposed to take a look at it as what the bottom line is of the area that they're at. If you want something changed when it comes to law, then you change the law. Now, what these guys did was go in there and they fixed a problem. There's probably still more problems, but they fixed a problem. It's a good thing. We need more of this. Children should not be missing. Children should not be trafficked. Children should not be part of things that are going on in this world that is ugly. We should be protecting our children. They did this. And it needs to happen more often. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.